Hello there, beautiful soul, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another tutorial, and tonight we're gonna have a nice little coloring session where we will finish the page that we started last time when we talked about warm highlights and create a really nice moody atmosphere. I will talk a little further about shading and different shading techniques that you can use to create really nice shadows in your image. Kind of like an additional little part 2 of the first shadow tutorial that we did together. So grab your markers and something nice to drink, cuddle up, and let's get started. So before we get into today's new tutorial, I want to take a moment to truly thank each and every one of you beautiful, kind-hearted souls for your overwhelmingly positive response to my flip through of Little Corner. It was so much fun to go through all the pages with you guys and go a little back memory lane and talk about some of the pages, because it makes so much fun and gives me so much joy to color these pages with you, and it was really cool to flip through the almost, well, it's not finished, but I have so many pages in the Little Corner, and it was truly very rewarding and a lot of fun to flip through the pages with you and talk a little bit about what was going on in these pages, and it was so much fun to read your comments. So for today we are going to finish this page that we started out together. I think it's now two videos ago. The flip through of Little Corner came in between. But I'm super excited to finish this page together, and I will not do too much talking in this intro. I want to get straight to coloring, and what we will do today is do a lot of shading, and I thought that would be a cool thing to talk a little bit more again about different things that you can keep in mind when you're shading your page. Kind of like a part 2, if you like. Because this is kind of like a different setting and a different light source, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to give this one a lot of depth and a lot of rich, nice shades to contrast the beautiful warm highlights that we have going on here. So without further ado, let's get into coloring. As I always do, just like to take a little glance on my swatch sheets to see kind of like where I want to go. So what I know so far is that I want to give this wall and the items that are on this wall this very nice rich dark purple blue kind of shadow, to give these items very nice long shadows, because this light is pretty strong and deep, so we can play a lot with some cool shadows. So I have here 2 different dark blues, one of them being the Prussian blue sorry. This one could be though a little too blue, that's why I want to try first with a blue gray 2-5. And if this one will be too light, we will just exchange it with the Prussian blue. So I'm gonna start out by adding a lot of nice shadows to this wall. So for starters, we have here this cute little bag and a handkerchief. So just gonna make the shadows come a little like this. The shelf obviously throw some shadow as well, and the bag, the handle, a little bit like that. You can go, since the light is coming from down, you can put some shadow up here. Like that. Since the light is coming from underneath, you would put some shadow like this as well. And as you go along, you start to see your image come to life. Same goes for the flower. Well, this is a little left for interpretation, but since we placed the warm highlights on this side, it would make more sense to place the shadow here. And since the light comes from underneath, you would automatically have a lot of shades on top. Just like that. A little bit of shading here. And I think the color is pretty cool. It dries very bright, but I think that anything else would be too harsh. Go ahead and see just how it would look like. I lately really enjoy making the two different shades of shading, because it gives it that even further 3D effect. Oh, I like that. I think both is actually pretty cool. Just gives it a little bit of more contrast. A little bit of dramatic effect. I think that's it for now. When it comes to the wall, that looks cute. I'm gonna go ahead and select a nice shading color for this pink, so we can go ahead and add some nice depth to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the warm gray 3 as a nice little shadow to this end of the bed. And because you're using a warm toned gray instead of a cool toned gray, it matches really nicely with anything red or pink. And if you don't have that many colors, it's a cool way to mix and create yourself kind of like this deep, nice red or dark pink. And as you see, it creates this really nice, rich, dark, dark red. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this side, as the light would cast a shadow from little bunny's ears. Just like that. You can make a little shadow here. Here, a little bit here, and also on the nightstand we could add the same color . I think I'm gonna make this one a wooden color. Let's see, I think I'm gonna go for a pretty dark wooden color because it would contrast very nicely with the light of the lamp. So maybe like a thin permission and mahogany. I've been loving these earthy brown tones a lot lately. So we're gonna start out with a color that is pretty light because this is right underneath the lamp, so it will cast a lot of light on it, so you don't want to make it too dark. That would just seem unrealistic. This one, okay, silver. I'm gonna go ahead and add that straight away. I'm gonna go for a cool gray 020. And what that does, it gives this here a little time to dry so that the contrast will be bigger when you add the darker color. So it's a little about laying the base color and then continue on with something else, so you can give it a little bit chance to dry, and then you can go in and really make these nice shapes with it. Because if you would go in right away, it would just swim into each other. Just like that. That looks really cool. And it looks super realistic. I'm just gonna go in with the cool gray 2 and give that little knob a little shadow. So I think I'm gonna give this flower a little bit of spark, a little bit of pop, and go ahead and give it some depth as well. And what I like is to give these sheer colors some more definition as well, because it just makes the image a little more vibrant. That looks cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing here, because the vivid pink alone would have been a little less shadowy, but in combination with the gray, the warm gray 3, creates this really nice rich tone. And I'm just gonna shade the curve here a little bit and do the same thing here. And the trick is really just to continue until you're satisfied. Just go on until you feel that, oh yes, that feels right and that feels good. That's where the magic lies. So you see already that looks super nice and dramatic. Oh, I love it. So I already like this one a whole lot better. I'm gonna go ahead and do something similar with the blanket, because as it dries, it all lost a little bit of its dramatic effects. I'm gonna go in with the warm purple, that is the lavender, and gonna give it just a little bit more definition. Contrast between the dark and the bright will be greater. little bit more together with a similar but slightly brighter version. And that is the pastel violet, just to make the transition nice and soft. Just like that. Perfect. I'm gonna add a little bit of more cool shadow, maybe even with the cool blue gray 2.5 that we used on the wall, just to give that pillow just a little bit more depth. I'm also going to go in and give the floor this really nice wooden touch to it. So I'm going to use a dark Sultan and the Caribbean polka. My good old classics. My OGs for wooden floors. Oh, it's so cool. So these are part of my very first Uhu set that I got back in October. The 48 pack midtones, and I really just love how rich brown they are, and they go perfect for anything wooden. Cool. So I'm going to go in with the Carib Cocoa and create the shadows. So the lamp light is here, so that will create some kind of shadow going on here from the nightstand. And don't sweat it too much if you don't get all the physics right. It's all about just creating that cozy, beautiful environment. And if you don't get it 100% physiologically right, nobody's gonna come for your bitches. Just enjoy it, play with it. You will, with time, get a feeling to what looks natural and what maybe looks a little off. And I'm gonna go in with the mahogany to just create that one bit further dark shadow. And you can then just play around with creating some wooden panels with some stripes and some dots. Ugh, I just love adding details like that. It just makes the whole mood of the image come together. Just like that. That's so cool. I'm gonna go ahead and not make too much of a shadow on here because the light is going straight on it. Just to make some kind of contrast, I'm gonna go with a shadow pink and just add a little bit of stronger so that you can read the image a little better to see that there's a difference between this space going flat and this space going vertically. Like that. To pick up some of the color from the wall, I'm gonna use the same color shade to go in and create the blanket, the carpet I mean, and using that as a pretty good excuse to put in some more purple. Oh, some of my markers are truly starting to run out. I guess that means I have to start experimenting a little bit more about my use of color and use some colors that I've never used before. But I guess it would be pretty obvious that my purple tones would run out first. So, just like that, and I'm gonna go in and use warm hues to contrast it. So I'm gonna make it, I think, and to create shadows on the carpet, I'm gonna go back with the blue gray 2-5 and just add a little bit of drama on the floor. Just like that. So I just used the Persian blue to create a very nice dark night sky outside. I thought first that I would go for a sunset, but it would suit this image better if it's completely in the middle of the night, and I will go over this later with my white highlight pen and make it a nice starry midnight sky. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop some colors on all of these items, and then we are gonna shade them together. So I think for the window I will pick up on the wooden colors and go back with a thin permission and a mahogany, because I really like how this lamp look like. So I'm gonna start with thin permission and just lay this nice base color for the window. This really reminds me of the first spooky images that I did, the spooky pages. Holler at me if you were here for that. Because I always tended to do a dark sky in the wooden frame. This gives me really cute flashbacks. So again, you're creating this really nice shadow effect because the light is coming from here, so it will cast a shadow on top. So I just laid the base color with this shadow pink, and I'm gonna go in with the rose pink and use just a stronger color of that pink hue as a shadow instead of like a gray tone. And that's a very cool way to play around with different ways of shadows to really make that nice. I'm gonna go in with a meadow green and a dusty jade green for the plant. And with using these two colors, you create this really nice shadows and make it super nice and vibrant. You can go in with the turquoise ink blue as well, just to make it a little bit even more, and make the leaves stand out from each other. So I use the terracotta as the base color and the colocasia tonimo as the shadow color. So I've gone ahead and added the last finishing touches to this beautiful little page, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna add some last finishing touches. Just to give it that little bit of, just like that. And as the last little finishing touch to really make the page pop, we're gonna add some cold highlights, although we have the warm ones. And since we have a lot of warm highlights going on this page, I don't want to necessarily take it too far with the white highlights, but just adding a little bit of freshness. Just make it come to life really nicely. That, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and add maybe some hearts. adding some cool little details. And I think that concludes today's little session. I hope that you could take something valuable away from this. If it was for learning some new additional tips for shading, or just simply inspiration for colors or moods, or if you were just having a nice little relaxing time, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you would like for me to talk about or make a dedicated tutorial about. It makes me so much fun to have these chatting along videos with you guys where I can just talk about anything that falls to mind. And it means a lot to me that you spend this time together with me. So without further ado, I wish you a beautiful evening wherever you are. If you're watching this at daytime or at nighttime, I wish you a beautiful day, and know that I appreciate your love and support so much, and you guys make me the happiest chicken on the planet. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'm already looking forward to see you in my next video. Bye!